Hey there, welcome back to another video. My name is Padraig and today we are talking about the master effect layers in Adobe Premiere Pro. The reason I want to talk about the master effects layers today is because I realized the other day it actually can be quite a useful piece of knowledge to have if you're working on projects with more than one camera and more than one take and you need to make global changes to a specific set of clips. This is the way to do it. Before we jump into Premiere and start messing around with these master layers, I just want to quickly take a second to explain how Premiere uses different instances of your clips when you apply them to a timeline. Let's say you have a clip in Premiere, it's quite a long clip, you know you're not going to use the whole thing, but you know you want to use sections of it. So you cut the sections out that you want to use and you're going to put them on the timeline. Each of those sections on the timeline actually represents a copy of your original clip. That way you always have a clean, original copy to go back to if you need to. Now, to understand how the master effects layers can be really useful, we need to understand that Premiere sees each of those copies that are now on the timeline as new instances themselves as well. So although they are copies of your original clip, if you apply an effect to one specific instance or one section that you have on your timeline, it will only apply that effect by default to that section of the clip or to that clip. However, if you apply an effect to the master layer on the original clip, it'll actually apply that effect to every instance of that clip across the entire project. Doesn't matter what sequence it's in, as long as it's in the project somewhere, it will apply that effect across the board. Alright, so when you get into Premiere Pro, you can see that we have our original video file over here on the left in the project window, and then down on the timeline we have the 4 sections that I've cut out from that file and I've placed onto the timeline. If I click on one of those clips and then go up to the effects control panel, if you can't see the effects control panel, just go up to window and then go down and make sure there's a tick next to effects controls. If I've clicked on that clip, by default in the effects controls panel, you're gonna see the effects controls for that individual instance of the clip on the timeline. At the top of the effects control panel, there's a little faded tab that says master with an asterisk and then the file name. This is the master effects layer. So when you click it, you realize it'll be an empty, there's nothing there that's been applied to that master layer yet. But if you go over to your effects panel over here, if that's not there, you can simply go up to window and go down to effects, make sure there's a tick next to that, and you'll be good to go. If you were to grab an effect from the effects panel, let's say Lumetri color, and drag that onto your master layer effect, that's now applied that to the original clip as a master layer effect. So it's not just affecting that single instance of the clip that you have selected, it's now going to it's now going to affect every single instance of that clip in the entire project. Whatever changes you make in the master layer, you will make across your project. So as you can see, if I make some adjustments to the Lumetri color here, let's say just bump up the exposure so it's very obvious that there's been some changes. You can see that it's been made to this specific clip that I had selected originally, but if I go over to the next clip, which is also, remember, just a copy of that original clip that we had, just a different section, it's also applied that Lumetri color effect to that clip as well, and then so on and so forth as we jump through each section that I have cut out on the timeline. You'll also notice a little red bar under the effects box on each of your clips. That's just to identify that there is a master effect applied to those clips and that original clip as well. Now, the really cool thing I found out the other day is that you can also do this with adjustment layers. So I always wondered in my head, why does Premiere let you create more than one adjustment layer other than organization? Because adjustment layers are effectively just blank layers. So if you were to just drag a new adjustment layer onto the thing, it's always a blank layer. However, if you create multiple adjustment layers, you can create multiple different master effects on each adjustment layer, and then you can create basically presets for specific cameras or specific takes in your project. So if I create a new adjustment layer, go over here to new item, and then go down, back up to adjustment layer, you'll see that if I create one that matches our timeline, I have an adjustment layer. If I drag it on over the top of this, nothing happens. It's a blank, it's transparent, it's not gonna affect the clip. Now, to access the master effects layers of an adjustment layer, it's easy. You simply double click the adjustment layer so it appears in your source window, and then go over to the effects control box and you're there. Now, whatever effects you drag on, let's say Lumetri color again, whatever effects you drag on will apply to that adjustment layer wherever it is placed in your project. Simply drag that onto wherever I want it, and you can see that it really boosts my exposure. Would never want to do that to a clip. Obviously that looks terrible, but you can see how that's affecting. For the shoot the other day, because we were shooting on 3 very different cameras, applying a general correction over all of them wasn't going to work for us. So I basically made 3 adjustment layers, 1 for each camera, and then I applied that adjustment layer above every single take from that camera. That way, if I needed to change anything post or pre or during, it was easy enough to do because I could just change it all on the master effect layer without having to go through and individually select and copy and paste the Lumetri effect between each and every one of them. So there you have it. That's how to use the master effects layer in Adobe Premiere Pro. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below or flick me a message on some kind of social media platform. Probably Instagram's best one. Thanks for watching. Hope this video has helped expand your brain knowledge and helps you speed up your editing workflow so you can be out there shooting more and making more projects and just absolutely smashing it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.